More than 80 people have died and many more are missing after flash floods ripped through the US state of Texas. Search efforts are continuing, with rescuers forced to remain vigilant with warnings of more storms over the next 48 hours. AC Cantu, news director at the Ranch Radio in Kerrville, is with me. Good morning.
Good morning, Ryan. Are you able to hear me well?
I can hear you, AC. Thank you very much for being with us. Just describe.
Yes, there you go.
Just describe for us, AC, what's going on there at the moment.
Okay, so what it ended up happening on July the 4th, there was a storm like we normally get. We're going to get a rainstorm, and it was pretty mild, nothing to worry about. But about midnight, all of a sudden, the water, the storm just created this big cell over, the county. And what it did was it hovered and stayed, and it just created this huge deluge of water and hit the river. And in the area that you are showing now, there's multiple camps out there that have been out there for over 100 years. And the water rose within just about 45 minutes, about 25 to 30 feet. And there was a lot of campers out there, and it was really hard to notify them. And some of them are so close to the river, the water rose drastically and started flooding the cabins. They were able to evacuate quite a few of the campers. What people don't realize is one of the camps where some of the campers are still missing, that they had 750 children there from all over the country, even some, as far as Mexico. So there's still some children missing. Unfortunately, there's 10 campers missing, one counselor. They've rescued over 850 people and more. The search and recovery continues. Immediately, one thing about Texas is we immediately mobilize. So they already had people on the ground like about 3 or 4 in the morning. They were only anticipating about 6 inches of rain, and it dumped, like I said, 25 feet in just a matter of moments.
Wow.
So even though we were already getting prepared out here, because the water was just swirling and running so quickly, they couldn't launch the boats in there. So we immediately, after, local had boots on the ground, all of a sudden Texas came in. So we have the Coast Guard is here. We have Texas Game Wardens, National Guard is here. And now President Trump has sent in federal resources for us to continue the search and the rescue and recovery. We're looking more at it as a rescue, because recovery means that whatever you find are deceased. This morning, the county officials put out the new numbers. 75 people have been found and are deceased.
It's hard. I see. It's hard for us to imagine, but you've painted that picture quite well, albeit a horrifying one. 30 feet for those at home is about 9 meters. You've got people camping in a low-lying area, hundreds of young people camping in a low-lying area, and within the space of half an hour, that fills to 9 meters, and you're trying to get them out. Do you personally know of anybody who was involved here? What will the impact on this community be?
Well, the impact on the community is the fact that not only were the campers out there, but we are in a very tourist type area. We're not like a ski resort. But because of the river, there's been people that have been living along the Guadalupe for decades. Well, even for hundreds of years, there's ranchers. Like I said, those camps have been out there. I have not been personally impacted, but I do have friends and whose family have been impacted. Their homes are gone. There's just been some really great rescue stories, but there's also been some really horrific stories also, because of the way that the water just rose so fast. So there's a camp out here called Camp Mystic. That is the one that has the young girls that are still missing. They have 10 missing and one counselor. The owner of that, he's had it for 50 years, of Camp Mystic, and that camp is 100 years old. He died trying to save children. Mr. Dick Eastland, Miss Jane Ragsdale, she was also a director and owner of a camp out here. She passed away also. And like I said, they are searching still for 10 girls and a camp counselor, and Camp Mystic
God.
has put out a press release that 27 of their campers did perish.
AC, it's just a horrible situation. Young people out camping, doing good stuff in the great outdoors. We appreciate you talking to us this morning. Thank you very much for that. That's AC Cantu, the Ranch Radio News Director from the camp that's been affected.